Hello, my name is Adriana Marino, and I am host and producer of Bend into Balance, powered by The Source. Today, I'm accompanied by Jon Paul Crimi of Breathe with JP. JP, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks
Can
for
you?
having me. I'm
Yeah.
super excited to talk to you today.
Yeah, me too. I'm very impressed because you just told me you've been on about 50 podcasts over the last couple of months. So I'm like, wow, you're an expert on this.
I don't know about that. Now there's too much buildup already.
Well, tell me about yourself. How did you get into this wellness space? And
Yeah, it was sort of not something I was intending. I've been sober 26 years, and I got pulled into sobriety coaching, helping people get sober, big kind of rock stars and then actors, famous people who need somebody to go on the road with them when they're touring, if they after they get out of rehab or they need to go on the movie set with them. So I became a sober companion. I got kind of pulled into that because I was really good at helping people get sober. And I
oh,
was also
okay.
kind of a tough ass,
Uh-huh.
like I don't care, you're famous. Give me 20 push-ups. I was a celebrity trainer before I was a celebrity sober coach in Gold's
Oh,
Gym in Venice,
okay.
the Mecca of bodybuilding, but I call it the Mecca of narcissism. So
Uh-huh.
so so I got pulled into sober companion work. And then by a series of circumstances, I had been friends with Matthew Perry from the show Friends. And someone took him to like a kind of a guru guy, a healer, and he was telling me about it when we were working out together. And I said, that sounds ridiculous, but I had just met Tony Robbins,
Hmm.
right, through Matthew, like through circumstances at a Los Angeles Kings hockey game, and it was incredible. Like Matthew and I we were following the Los Angeles Kings all season, right? And it just happened to be the season they went on the run to win the Stanley Cup. And it's the last game. It's game 6 in the Staples Center. We had been flying around to the playoff games. It was an incredible year. It was amazing. And every celebrity in LA is in this little VIP room underneath the Staples Center. And like it's, Will Ferrell and Vince Vaughn and Zac Efron. And in walks Tony Robbins. And I turn to
Uh-huh.
Matthew and I go, holy shit, it's Tony Robbins. And he goes, really? We've been following the Kings all season. They're about to win the cup.
Yeah.
Every celebrity in LA is in here. You're excited about a gigantic man right now,
Yeah.
And I said, he's amazing. I had his books in high school. I had his tapes
Uh-huh. You'd been following him for years.
years. And I'd never gone to, I'd never met him or anything like that. And Matthew's like, why don't you go tell him how much you love him? I go, dude, everybody bugs you. I don't want to be that guy to him.
Yeah.
Right. So and I'd worked with a ton of celebrities and I just know that what people, they go up to him and it's a pain. Right. So I was walking back to the tunnel and Tony looked up from his phone and he goes, hey man, how's it going?
Uh-huh.
And I go, okay, I never do this. I know everybody says that, but I
Yeah.
actually don't. I'm a huge fan. I've been following you since high school. And he goes, what's your name? What do you do? We start talking.
Hmm.
And he goes, have you ever been to my seminar? And I go, no, I don't. I haven't. He goes, I only do 3 a year domestically, but I'm doing one next month in San Jose, and I'd love it if you'd come as my personal VIP guest.
Wow.
I know. And I was like,
You made a good
really?
impression on him.
Maybe. I don't know. And maybe I think Tony he's really intuitive and he knows what somebody wants or needs. And at the time, I was sort of going through a difficult transition. That's exactly what I needed. And so I went to his seminar and it was life changing. And we could talk about that for the whole hour, but
Yeah.
I don't, there was so many things that happened. And
But in a gist, what happened at the seminar?
well, okay. So I
You,
had been struggling in Hollywood. I
okay.
was a screenwriter. I had come really close to a lot of things. I had $1 million deal fall apart and I got nothing,
Yeah.
and it was really frustrating. And I had a screenplay stolen from me and made into a movie, which was
Oh.
heartbreaking. And,
Uh-huh.
and I sold a TV show that didn't end up happening. It was just all these things. And I was so frustrated. And I had a moment of awakening
Yeah.
where I realized I'm 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 done with Hollywood.
Yeah.
I'm going to let go of this dream
Hmm.
and I'm just going to help people. Like I'm getting emotional because I can like it's like calling it right back into me.
I'm sorry.
No, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a good thing. I let it go. Like, and I say to people, like, sometimes you have to let go of your dream to step into your destiny.
Mm, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Hmm.
And so I decided in that seminar, in that moment, like, I'm done with Hollywood. I'm going to help people. I don't know what that looks like, but that's what I'm going to do.
You had that revelation thanks
Yes,
to
right
Tony
then and there.
Robbins'
I also
seminar.
had a revelation about children.
Oh.
I never wanted children.
Oh.
And we were doing these moments, pulling these heart moments into our heart.
Yeah.
And one of them was a future moment. And I do these moments in my class, and we'll probably talk about them. But
Yeah.
one was a future moment, and I saw two children. I saw a girl and a younger boy.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my God, I've never wanted children, but it was beautiful. And I was with my wife. I'm married at the time. And I came back from the seminar, and I said to my wife, I was quiet for like 3 days, which has never happened in history.
Mm-hmm. I can tell you're a talker. Yeah.
Yeah. My wife got to talk, I think, for the first time in our marriage. And so it was like amazing. We were going for these walks, and she was talking and sharing all this stuff. And then finally I said, I think I want to have children. And she's like, what happened to Tony Robbins? And I was like, I don't know. I saw this vision with these kids, and I'm like, I don't think I want to miss out on this experience. And I'm done with Hollywood. I'm just going to help people. I don't know what that looks like. And so I was already kind of helping people. And then, jump ahead a little bit with Matthew, and someone took him to this healer, and he's telling me about it. And I'm like, that sounds ridiculous. And he's like, well, I bought you a session because you're my only friend who's open-minded enough right now because of the Tony Robbins experience to try this out. So I was like, all right, I'll do it. Yeah,
Sure. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And I went, and it was weird, but like I had an experience. We were doing a breathing technique very different from what I teach today, but it nonetheless, it cracked something open inside of me, and I had an experience that was profound.
Okay.
And I said, oh my God, what is this? What is this breathing thing? Right. And so I went down a rabbit hole and started researching. And at the same time, I was telling some close friends about what happened to me. And they said, you need to go try this breath work. And someone else said it, you need to go try this breath work. And I thought, dumb, like, I'm going to pay someone to show me how to breathe. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Right.
Because I'm a little cynical. I'm from Boston, right? I'm an East Coast guy.
Yeah.
I think it's ridiculous. Everything I go and do, I think is dumb and stupid, but I'm going to go do it anyway. So I have to be proven wrong.
Got it. Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And now I've had so many incredible experiences doing different things that I just like, okay, what is it? That sounds ridiculous. Let's go.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
open-minded.
I'm open-minded. The funny thing about open-minded, everybody thinks they're open-minded. The most closed-minded people on the planet think they're open-minded. I've never met anyone. Have you ever met anyone who's like, no, I'm closed-minded? Everyone says it. I'll go, are you open-minded? And they go, yeah, I'm open-minded. I go, come try my breathwork class. And they'll go, no, I'm good. And I go, then you're not open-minded.
Right.
Stop saying you are, because you would come try it. But you think you want to be open-minded. You want to say you're open-minded, but you're actually not.
Yeah.
So that's the funny thing. So anyways, I went to this breathwork class, and it was weird and woo-woo and new agey. And at the time I was like, oh my God, what is this fresh hell that I've walked into? Like, this is not me. And I was like, ugh, the teacher, the music, all of it. But the experience of the circular breath work, the conscious connected breathing, which is a specific technique. Like, I think we should say, like, clear it up for people. Breath work is an umbrella term.
Yes.
It's like saying fitness or yoga even, right?
Yeah,
like there's so many
branches.
Yeah. Because I'll say I'll do breath work, and people think I'm talking about box breathing.
Sure.
Or some other coherent breathing or some other technique.
Yeah.
This technique that I'm talking about specifically is called circular breath work or conscious connected breathing. It's an intense technique.
Okay.
Similar to, doing psychedelics or ayahuasca or something like that.
Okay.
So it has those similarities. Where
later you'll explain to us why it can be
we can dive
related to psychedelics.
We can dive into that.
Okay.
So it's not a relaxing technique. It's not a meditation. It's like a workout.
It's intense.
Yeah, it's intense.
I did your workshop. It's
intense. It's like a workout, right? And I make it even more intense because I bring out the old trainer and push people.
Yeah.
Because there's a thing that can happen in the beginning where your brain kind of fights you. It doesn't want you to...
It's uncomfortable.
Yes.
You have to push
yourself. It doesn't
yourself.
want you to do that.
Yeah.
It doesn't want you to do this because it will turn off part of your brain. It's called transient hypofrontality.
Okay.
So we're actually diving in now to the thing. But
okay.
So anyways, we'll go back into that. So I had an experience. I cracked open. I cried in a way I've never cried. I released things I didn't realize I was still carrying. And this is something I hear from a lot of people in my classes all the time. It's like, I thought I did all the work.
Yeah.
I did the therapy. I did the 12-step. I did the Tony Robbins. I did the Joe Dispenza. I did all the things. But then I came and did this breath work with you, and I realized I have all this stuff. And I said, yeah, because most of the work you've already done has been up in your head.
Right.
It's been around like things that you think about.
Yeah,
The
patterns, mental
Yeah,
thoughts,
mental thoughts,
the internal
exactly.
monologues.
Yeah.
Right.
Old, connections and old like wiring, right?
Yes.
But this stuff is living in your nervous system.
Visceral.
Yeah, it's living in your
Uh-huh.
body. And so when you do this breath work, we're working on that. And that's why all this stuff is still there. So I hear that a lot. And that was my own personal experience. All this stuff came up for me. So I started doing it every day. And everybody noticed a shift in me.
Really? How did you change?
I'm laughing because it's embarrassing to say, but I didn't realize I was angry. Angry people don't know they're angry. Just like, crazy people don't know they're crazy. I was angry. I didn't think I was angry. I was overreacting about a bunch of things in my life, right? Because that stuff living in my nervous system was triggered when something would happen, and I would have this reaction that wasn't appropriately sized for what just happened.
Yes.
People would be like, "You're overreacting." I'm like, "Oh, no, I'm not." I'm like, "Oh, this is," and it was an overreaction. Now it means like sometimes I might get mad or upset. I'm never not going to have emotions. Things
Right.
happen.
Of
We're
course.
living in the
We're
world.
humans.
Yeah, and we're living in the world with crazy stuff happening in the
For
world.
sure.
So of course I'm going to have things that come up, but it's appropriately sized
Mm-hmm.
because I released all that stuff out of my nervous system. I cleared all that stuff out of my body. So what happened was I was doing it every day. I was having these big emotional releases, and it would clear all this stuff out of my body. And then I would go into my day happy, relaxed, present.
Yeah.
And people were like, "Dude, are you medicated? What's going on?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And they're like, "You're so happy. You're so present. You're a different guy." And I'm like, "Oh." And they're like, "Tell me." And I'm like, "I'm doing this weird breath work thing." And they're like, "Breath work thing? What is that?" And I'm like, "Oh," I was like, I was embarrassed.
Really? Uh-huh.
Yeah,
This
because
is how many years ago, JP?
this is 15 years ago.
Okay.
No one heard of breath work then. There was no
Right.
Wim
Yeah.
Hof. There was no Goop, Vogue magazine talking about breath work. It wasn't trending. It wasn't on the biohacking
Yeah.
radar. Right?
Years before James Nestor's breath work.
Yes. Yeah, way before all this stuff. So nobody even knew what it was.
Right.
Nobody. I had never heard of it. So you got to consider that, right? And so I'm like, I'm doing this weird breathing technique. And they're like, "Tell me about it." I'm like, "You lay on the floor and you breathe intensely in this way, and your brain fights you, and it's weird and it's uncomfortable. But then you have this big emotional release and you feel amazing afterwards. And it feels like 20 years of therapy without saying a word." And they're like, "Show me.
Wow.
Show me." Clients, friends, Matthew, Perry,
Uh-huh.
show me. So I started doing it. I did it with Matthew. I did it with clients. I did it with friends. I'd hear someone in a recovery meeting be like, "I'm struggling with anger. I'm struggling with depression." I'd be like, "Do you want me to try this thing on you?" And they're like, "Yeah." So I started doing it on my clients and my friends, and they were having these big experiences.
Uh-huh.
And then this woman who had a fitness studio said, "Hey, why don't you teach a class at my studio?" And I was like, "I don't even want people to know I'm doing this."
You're embarrassed?
Yes, because it was new agey, because it was woo woo, right? And I had a realization, I had an epiphany. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this in a way that's comfortable for me, for who I really am, for my
Right.
personality. I'm
Authenticity.
going to yeah. I didn't know what authenticity was back then. It was just
Okay.
like, I'm going to do this like I don't give a shit. That's what authenticity is for me.
No,
Meaning,
I like that definition. It
meaning
works,
I'm
yeah.
going to do it. I'm going to play cool music. I'm not going to play the new agey woo woo drumming and all that
Yeah.
kind of music. I'm going to play the Who and, Coldplay and Fleetwood Mac. I'm going to play
Yeah.
that stuff, right?
Mhm.
I'm going to do it like a trainer would.
You
not
had the Lumineers when I did my course.
Yes,
Yes.
love that.
Love the Lumineers.
So
Mhm.
I'm going to do it like a trainer does. I'm going to push people because what do I want to hear when I'm doing breath work? I want to hear somebody go, "Hey, Jon Paul, it's not that hard. You've done harder shit in your life than lay on the floor and breathe. Stop
Yeah.
being a wuss."
Yeah.
That's what I needed to hear. So that's what I started saying in the classes.
Mhm.
So and then I want to add a yell at the end, right? Like I want to let go of all that energy I've just built up in the system. And then I added the heart moments because a lot of stuff, heavy stuff can come up during this breath work, but I want people to leave focused on gratitude and love. So you have this big emotional release, your heart's wide open, you're very vulnerable, but I want you to pull in gratitude and love from your own life. Because that's what I want you to leave focused on, because that's what matters.
Right.
So I created the class that I want to take. And it was very different from what was out there in the world, right? Nobody was doing a class like this. And I was begging my friends to come to the class, right?
Uh-huh.
Matthew Perry came to one of the first classes and he goes, "Jon Paul, I know you want a TV show, but this is your gift. This is what you're supposed to do.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I was
Mhm.
like, really? And he's like, yeah, this is what you're supposed to do. Like, you're amazing at this. And this is life changing for people. This is better than a TV show. And I was like, I don't know. And so I started doing that class and I was begging my friends to come. And they're like, I'm not coming to your breathwork class. But it took off. It was organic.
This was in LA?
This is in LA, right? And what happened was people would come and they would have this big experience. And then they would bring two of their friends.
No, I can
three.
imagine this grew.
Yeah, it went
Snowball.
viral, humanly
Word
viral.
of mouth.
Yeah.
And especially when there's an experience to be had, people just want to share it.
They want to
and they
share
talk
it.
about it.
They would buy 5 tickets for their friends and family, right? And so they would bring 5 friends. So it grew naturally, pretty quickly.
Where were you holding these classes?
At first, I was holding them at a meditation studio in LA, and then I rented a church.
Okay.
I rented a church space, my own space, because she didn't want to pay me. Like, this thing was sold out.
Yeah.
Twice a week. We couldn't, like, people were begging to get in there, and she didn't want to give me any real money. And I was like, what? Why not?
That makes sense for me.
I know.
Yeah.
But, studio owners can be greedy.
Got it.
So I rented a church, and then she fired me. I'm like, what? I'm like, you won't pay me.
Yeah.
But then you're going to fire me because I'm going to do it at another space on another night.
Yeah.
Anyways, we don't want to dive into the
No, we don't.
negativity of that.
But anyways, you found it.
I found a space, and if it took a little bit, but like word of mouth spread pretty quickly, and it filled up. And then it got to the point where, celebrities' assistants were calling. Owen Wilson, can we get Owen in the class?
Yeah.
And all these celebrities were coming, and supermodels were coming, and it became this like trendy, hip thing. Celebrities are always the first to go.
Right.
Right. And then there was an article in Los Angeles magazine, and the guy who did the article ended up interviewing a woman next to him in the class who had been coming all the time, who was a supermodel, who was on the cover of Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue.
Got it.
So that word got out, and now I've got all these people coming, right?
Sure.
And my friends, this is funny, my friends who wouldn't come before
Now wanted to come.
Now they want to come. Now they want a
course, to
free
see
spot in a sold out class.
Right.
'Cause-
Especially if there are supermodels.
Exactly. I was like, oh yeah, you want a free spot in a sold out class. Come on. And so it became a thing, and it was a wild ride. It
Yeah.
really was an experience. I was on Good Morning America, and I got a bunch of press, and then I was in the Heal Hay House Summit that they did, the movie Heal, the documentary.
Okay. Oh, yes.
Yeah. So they did a Hay House Summit, and they interviewed a bunch of, teachers like
Yeah.
Joe Dispenza and all these kind of big
Yeah.
name teachers, and I got to be in that
Oh,
for the breathwork guy.
That's
Yeah.
great. So
It was
must have been a
incredible.
great visibility.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
It was overwhelming.
I have a question though.
Yeah.
Given that you got so much hype around you, it was LA, the press, models, actors, whatnot. How did you not lose your focus and your real purpose, and why? Because I can imagine, when you're getting kind of so much fame,
Yeah.
it's easy to lose track of really that sole reason.
Such a good question. So there's 2 parts to that. The first part is I had spent a lot of time with celebrities before this happened, watching them navigate it, sometimes good, sometimes really poor.
Okay.
And in their defense, I was meeting a lot of them at their bottoms from drugs and alcohol. Right. And so I saw them navigating fame, and I was like, oh, I'm never going to do it that way if that ever happens to me.
Okay.
And then the other thing is, and this is still true today, I always keep on the forefront of my consciousness that it's the breath work that's the thing.
Yes.
I'm not the thing. I'm really good at facilitating it. I've spent 15 years like making it the best class that I can possibly do, doing the best job that I possibly can. I open my heart. I get vulnerable, which we can talk about,
Yeah.
which was my greatest wound growing up, was my sensitivity and my vulnerability. And now it's become my greatest gift in my classes, right? Because what comes from the heart goes to the heart.
Yeah.
So I keep it on the forefront that it's the breath work that's cracking people open. It's the breath work that's changing people's lives. I'm just a facilitator. I'm just a guide. I'm not the thing, because I've watched other people start doing it, and then they're like, I'm the thing, and their ego gets out of control, and they
Right.
become Bikram from Bikram yoga, or whatever happens,
Yeah.
whatever, I don't want that. And it's funny, when I was young, when I was an actor, I wanted to be famous. And then once I actually got a small taste of that,
You're like, this isn't for me.
no, yeah, it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
People recognizing me like at Whole Foods, and like it was weird. And I had seen it. I had been around it. I worked with Justin Bieber and Matthew Perry. I've traveled all over with Matthew, and so I know what real fame looks like, big fame looks like. And it's interesting. It's not for me. I'm fine. I want to help as many people as I can. That's why I'm doing the podcast. I'm
Yeah.
trying to spread it as far and as wide as I can. I want people to come to my class
Mm-hmm.
online and experience the breath work and crack open and change their lives through this incredible breath work. But I don't need to be a big superstar. And it before COVID happened, I had all these events,
Right.
right, that were on my calendar.
Uh-huh.
I was supposed to do Steve Harvey's event in Washington, and I was supposed to do this big, healer thing in Georgia, and I had a sold out retreat in Iceland, and I had 6 trainings sold out and all these things, and it all got wiped off the calendar.
Uh-huh. When
Eh,
COVID hit.
Yeah. And fortunately, I had a vision before that of like doing this online.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was doing breathwork online. I was the first person to do that I know of.
Yeah.
And I had searched. I was on Google every day. I I was the first person that I know of to do this circular breathwork online. Okay. And the old school teachers kind of pushed back against me. They're like, you can't do this online. I'm like, yes, I can. In fact, I think it's going to be better online. People don't have to drive afterwards. They're in their safe space,
Sure. That
right?
makes
Nobody's
sense.
there touching them in the room,
Yeah.
right? And so I started doing it online. And then when COVID happened, everybody showed up. And those
Okay.
teachers who pushed back, they started doing it
Of
online.
course,
I was
I
like,
had to.
yeah. So, anyways, so I was doing it online and I have my teacher trainings online as well. So I've been doing it online for a while now.
Okay.
And I've been training other people in this breathwork for 9 years.
Okay.
I've certified over 3,000 people.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
a lot of people.
Yeah.
So,
Worldwide because I have it online
uh-huh.
and I do them in person once or twice a year.
Okay. So tell us about
The certification?
about the breath work itself. Like, how does this work? What is the power of it? How is it helping people? Why is this continuing to grow?
Yeah. Well, so everything out there now, people say, oh, this is so great. This is so transformational. And so few things actually live up to that kind of statement, right? It's a pack of gum. It's not transformational. You know what I mean? Stop calling everything transformational. But this breath work actually is transformational. And it's in one, like the first session, the effects are immediate and they're undeniable. Like it's different for everybody and it's different every time you do it. You could sign up for my Sunday class online and there's a replay afterwards and you could do that replay 5 times and have a different experience every time with the same exact class. So that's what's incredible about it. But people, even if you're cynical, this is one of the things I love. Even if you're cynical like I was, oftentimes I'll do a class and then, especially here in Bend, right? I'll do a class and then someone will come and this woman will come up to me afterwards and she'll go, okay, my husband would never do this, but I'm going to make him do this with you because you're like a guy. And I think it will work for him
Mm-hmm.
through you. Right.
Yeah.
And I go, okay. And the next class, I see the husband sitting out there next to her
Uh-huh.
and he's like, oh my God, I can't believe she dragged me to this shit. It's like,
Yeah.
I could see it in him. He doesn't want to be there. He thinks it's stupid. He's rolling his eyes at everything I'm saying is going to happen to you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because I do the best I can to prepare people. Like I spend 10 minutes preparing people for this powerful experience, but they don't believe it's going to happen
Mm-hmm.
because something you've been doing your entire life, breathing unconsciously. Wait, now I'm going to go to a class and you're going to show me a different way to do it. And it's going to clear out stress, anxiety, grief, generational trauma. Like come on, Jon Paul. I'm not buying it. And I go, yeah, you don't have to buy it. You just have to do it.
Uh-huh.
And then come see me afterwards, right?
Okay.
And so they don't buy it, they don't believe me, and then they do it. And if I can just get them to breathe the way I'm trying to show them, and it's not a hard technique, but afterwards they have this big experience, right? They have this massive experience. And then I see them in the lobby and they come up to me and they go, hey man, I gotta say, my wife told me all about this. She dragged me to this. I thought it was stupid. That was the most incredible experience I've ever had in my life. That was transformational. Thank you so much. And they go, can I give you a hug? And I go, sure. And they start hugging me and crying on me in the lobby. And this is like a SWAT team captain
Wow.
on the police force
Mm-hmm.
or the fire chief from the fire
Yeah.
department. These are like guys.
Yeah.
And
And that happens a lot?
happens every class. It's happened every class for 15 years.
Oh, wow.
Every single class.
So what's the power of this breath work? How
So
does this happen?
I mean, some of it's mysterious, but like if we look at the science behind it, because when I found it, I couldn't find any science behind it. I was asking all these breathwork teachers out, like, because I'm a trainer, right? I'm into the science. I want to know, why is this happening?
Sure.
Why when I breathe in this different way through my mouth as opposed to through my nose? Well, so one of the things is that we're breathing through our mouth, which is your sympathetic nervous system.
Yeah.
right?
Fight, flight.
Fight or fight.
Yeah.
Exactly. Good for you. Parasympathetic, right?
Rest.
Breathing through your nose, rest and digest.
Yeah.
Right. So most of the breathing techniques out there are teaching you to breathe through your nose,
Yes.
to calm your nervous system,
Exactly.
to relax you, right? And they're all great. They're all amazing. Why would I want to breathe through my mouth? Why would I want to breathe into fight or flight? Well, because that's where the trauma is stored. That's where the stuff happens. When this stuff happens to you, it gets stored in your nervous system.
Yes.
Fight or flight. I just took a big deep breath. That's where it gets stored in there that way. So we need to breathe into the nervous system that way.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes, but in a safe environment, in a safe way. Because sometimes you'll breathe through your mouth intensely when you're exercising.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, but you're
Mhm.
using that oxygen for the muscles when you're exercising.
Okay.
You're not using it when you lay down and you do breath work in this way.
Okay.
Also, intention is a very powerful tool.
Yeah. Makes all the difference.
Yes, so we're setting an intention
Mhm.
to let go of something, right? I want to let go of some anger, some sadness, some grief, some disappointment, right? And so you set that intention and your body listens to you. And we start breathing in this way to clear out these things in our nervous system. We don't know what's going to happen, but it's a very powerful tool. For example, when a rabbit gets chased in the woods, in the wild, and it doesn't get killed, it almost just got killed, it shakes to relieve that trauma.
Yeah.
I believe this is one of our mechanisms to do that.
Uh-huh.
So we have ways that we can release trauma from our body, and this is one of them. So until you actually experience it, until you actually do it, it just sounds like I'm explaining, colors to a blind person.
I understand.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You
You
can't
have
really
to experience.
you have to experience. It's experiential. And it's different for everybody. Some people have these wild experiences that are like psychedelics. Other people see relatives that have passed. Other people, feel connected to the universe or God or all these things. And I don't like to say all that because I don't want to set up those expectations. But I tell people, like, you're going to have an experience. I don't know what that experience is going to be, but something's going to happen for
You
sure.
won't leave untouched.
Yeah. Some people get so caught up in the physicality their first time because even though I tell them all this stuff's going to happen to them physically, they don't believe me. And then they're so sort of focused on, like, oh my God, my hands cramped up and my
Yeah.
body turned weird.
Am I doing this right?
Yeah. And they're
Yeah.
so like surprised by all the physical stuff
Uh-huh.
that they don't really let go the first time.
I see.
They still have an experience.
Yeah.
Or maybe they let go after the breath work's over. That
Okay.
happens too.
Mm-hmm.
Or they the yell is a powerful thing for them. Like, when in life do we get to yell for a
Yeah.
minute or two?
When it's
right?
not yell at our children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or yell at somebody who can't pull into the roundabout in Bend, Oregon. Like, why can't you pull into the roundabout? It says yield. It doesn't say stop. I have to say this because I'm going to fix Bend, Oregon, like one podcast, one class at a time with these goddamn roundabouts.
Okay, that's valid.
So anyways, so you're just not expecting it. And so it's a really powerful experience. And I take you on this ride, and it's different for everybody and it's different every time. And, ayahuasca and ibogaine and microdosing, these are kind of the rage these days. And I will say that the breath work is just as powerful as these things. And I will also say that with those things, the power is in the plant. But with breathwork, the power is in you.
Mm-hmm.
And I can do breathwork on a Tuesday afternoon and then go pick up my kids from school.
Yeah.
But I can't really do ayahuasca on a Tuesday afternoon.
No, right.
Nor do I want to.
And you can do this for free.
Yes.
All these plant medicines have a cost. Yeah.
Exactly. That's a great point. Yeah. I mean, listen, you can come to my class one time
And
and then you know it and you do it on your own, make your own playlist, do it on your own, whatever you want. I'm not building a cult here.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You can do it for free. The breath is inside of you.
Yeah. And how does this, going back to this, your love of science and, understanding the why, physiologically, why is this happening? What have you discovered?
Well, it was the part I was talking about where the trauma lives in the nervous
Right,
system.
yeah.
There's also this thing that I touched on briefly, which is called transient hypofrontality.
Tell us more about this.
So what happens is when we breathe in this way through our mouth, it starts to turn off part of our prefrontal cortex of our brain.
Uh-huh.
That's the area of your brain where the critic lives,
Right.
where the ego lives. It's called the default mode network. And it can turn that down, that area of your brain, and get more into your lizard brain, which is incredible.
Okay.
Because that's the overthinking part of our brain. That's the part that's always trying to protect
The
us.
part we want to always turn off.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the part you think you're going to turn off with meditation. That's the part I tried to turn off with drugs and alcohol, right? And it actually turns that off. So the first time I did this, I turned off that part of my brain and I went, holy shit, why didn't somebody show this to me when I was like
Sure.
13, 14 years old? It would have saved me so much pain and agony in my life. It would have helped everyone around me. So it turned off that part of my brain and it actually moved me into my heart, right? I like to use the analogy like my brain, this is me in particular, has all these tabs open, like on
Yeah.
my computer.
Uh-huh.
And I've got the family tab, the kids tab, I've got the bills tab, the business tab, the wife. I've got a million tabs running all the time. All these things I got to take care of, all these things I got to do. And what breathwork does, it goes in there and it closes out all the tabs. And it shuts down the computer and gives me a hard reboot. And while that's off, I actually get to move into my heart, which is a whole other operating system that I can operate my life from and I can make choices from. And it's actually a better way to make them important choices from. I'll tell you a funny like story. I used to do in-person sessions. I don't do them anymore, but I did them for years. And I would have people come in and let's just say, I had women come in quite a bit and I go, okay, what's going on? And they go, okay, there's this guy. And I go, okay, you got 2 minutes to tell me about the guy, right? And so they would be this lawyer pleading both sides of the case. Well, he's really good and he does this and I like how he does this and he shows up this way and he's successful. And I go, okay, the other side of the case now. And they start laughing and they go, okay, well, he doesn't do this and he's not this right? And so they're torn about this guy back and forth. And I go, okay, let's just set the intention for the breath work to give us clarity on the relationship of what's the right thing for you in this relationship. And they go, great. So we do the breath work. I already know what's coming. So they sit up afterwards and I go, okay, how was that? And they go, that was amazing. It was incredible. Oh my God, I let go of so much. Da, da. And then they'd say, he's not the one. And I go, oh, he's not the one. Yeah, it's clear. It's crystal clear. They're 100% sure. There's no doubt that all that doubt is removed because in their heart, they know he's not the one. Right? But what do you think happens? Couple days later, or even a day or two later, depending on them and how overactive their brain is, their brain turns back on. And our brain's job is to protect us.
Yeah.
And the brain thinks it's protecting you. And so what it starts to do is create fear. And that fear goes, oh man, you don't want to get back out in the dating world. He's not that bad. Do you really want to get back on those apps? Those are awful. And it starts to create fear. And what I tell them to do is lay down and do breath work again and get back in your heart. And if you're lonely, go get a dog. And just find that you're okay within yourself, that you're whole and complete within yourself, that you don't need somebody else. Ironically, that becomes an incredibly attractive quality and you level up in a way. But the breath work, it clears out this lie that we need somebody else. Remember that movie, Jerry Maguire?
Yeah.
You Complete Me?
Uh-huh.
It's a goddamn lie.
Yeah.
You don't need somebody to complete you.
No.
You complete yourself. You're whole and complete within yourself. And so this breath work takes us there. It takes us to the place, it sounds so corny to say it, of self-love. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
Right? I have to learn to love myself. How do I do that? You hear it all the time now. Like, you got to love yourself. Great. Show me how to love myself. Show me an actionable way to love myself. And this is one of them. Like doing the uncomfortable work to clear out the stories that I'm not good enough because of this, or I'm not enough because of this, and get to a place where I am enough within myself. It's a beautiful experience to get there. And then, when you realize that, you can stop chasing all the things outside of yourself that you think are going to make you whole and happy and lovable.
Yeah. Can I ask you why this awakens so much vulnerability in you, Jon Paul?
I guess because, spending so many years not loving yourself and then finally getting to a place where you do is, it's a very sensitive emotional topic
Yeah.
to talk about for me, thinking there's something wrong with you, living your life like there's something wrong with me. And then doing the work on yourself to get to the place where there's nothing wrong with me.
Yeah.
I'm just a human being having a human experience.
Sure.
And so it makes me sensitive. It makes me emotional, makes me vulnerable. And I see that in the people that I work with. And I'm never going to get to a place where I stop making mistakes. I was so hard on myself for messing up all those years. And I saw my daughter being hard on herself, and I went, oh my God, what I have to model for her
Yeah.
self-love.
Right.
I can't tell her to not be hard on herself. I have to show her what that looks like.
Yeah.
And so I say now to my students, I say, work hard on yourself, but don't be hard on yourself. You know, show up and love yourself no matter what, because you're worth it.
Why do you think this breath work is awakening this self love and this capacity to kind of just have more compassion for ourselves? Because you're right, we are so hard on ourselves.
Yeah. I think because it strips down the walls that we build around our heart.
Uh huh.
We build these protective walls, right? So things happen to us in our life. I got stabbed and left for dead. I got this happened. Someone broke my heart. All these things happened to me.
Mm-hmm. We
Well,
see ourselves as victims.
yeah. And you build up these stories, and these stories, they're walls, they're layers we put over our hearts. And then what the breath work does is it goes in there and starts to strip away the stories and the layers.
Yeah.
And it opens us up. People, they want to feel the joy and the love and the gratitude, but they want to close themselves off from the sadness and the grief and the disappointment and the heartbreak.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work like that. You have to be willing to feel it all.
For sure.
Right? If you want to feel the gratitude and the love and the joy, you have to be willing to feel the grief and the heartbreak
No,
and the
for sure.
disappointment.
Because it's only when we feel the pain that we can be grateful for
Yeah.
what we've gone through and how it's changed us.
100%.
Yeah.
And I want to live with an open heart. So that means I have to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
I want to, what comes from the heart goes to the heart. And I think if I do have anything special about me and the way I do my breath work, is I let myself be vulnerable in the
Uh-huh.
class, because I want other people to be vulnerable. I want
Sure.
other people to let go of the things they've been holding on to.
Yeah.
So I will allow that vulnerability to come through in my classes,
Yeah.
because what comes from the heart goes to the heart. And when I was a kid, I was told I was too sensitive. I was overly sensitive. There's something wrong with you,
Yeah.
right? And so that thing that was like my wound, your greatest wound can become your greatest gift. And that was my wounding. And now it's become this special thing that I do in my classes
Yeah.
that helps people.
Mm.
So I think it's also, I'm really vulnerable because we're in person.
Uh-huh.
And I've been used to doing things online, and I think there is a little bit of separation there.
Yeah.
It's amazing because I connect with people all over the world, and I get to do it for people all over the world. But I do a class here in Bend, Oregon, every couple months. I'm doing one in September. I don't know. I hope this is going to come out before the class.
It
Maybe.
will.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Perfect. So I'm doing a class at the Bend Convention Center,
Uh-huh.
which ironically nobody knows that we have a convention
just
center
gonna
here in
say,
Bend. Yeah, look your
where is
face.
it?
Yeah, nobody knows.
Yeah.
I actually lived on the top of Mount Washington the first year I lived here,
Mhm.
and I drove by it every day, 10 times a day, and I didn't know it was there.
Yeah.
So it's owned by the River House, and it's across the
Oh,
road from the
yeah.
River House.
I see. I know where
When
it
you
is.
go up Mount Washington.
Yes.
But there's no sign there because the guy from the River House had too big of a signage, so they wouldn't let him have one for the convention center.
see.
It's a whole thing.
Yeah, I've been
So
there.
it's right there. Yeah, they have events there. That's the Bend Convention Center.
Got
So I've been doing my class at the Bend Convention Center ever since COVID ended.
Okay.
It's an amazing space. And I do it here in Bend every 4 months or so.
Uh-huh.
So I'm doing one September 11th, and I don't do the classes in person anymore, except in Bend because I live here. I was flying all around the world, all around the country. I did one in Switzerland last year for 900 people. It's the largest circular breathwork class that's ever happened.
Oh, wow.
I did one on Tony Robbins, which was a full circle moment. I got to do a class for Tony Robbins for 3,000 people in one of his events. His people came to me and they're like, "We've heard amazing things. We'd love for you to do a class." I go, "Do you know my Tony Robbins story?" And they're like, "No." And I'm like, "You don't even know it?"
It's
And they're
thanks
like, "No."
to him that I'm here.
Yeah, and
Talk
he's-
about circular paths.
Yeah, he's part of this
Came
whole story. Yeah, it's a full circle
full
moment.
circle, yeah.
Yeah, it was incredible. So I had this
Wow.
incredible year last year.
That's
But I've
amazing.
sort of, thank you. I scaled back a little bit just because I want to be present for my kids in these last few years that they're going to be with me. I mean,
Sure.
they might be with me till they're 30, who knows? But
Yeah.
just in case, my kids are 10 and 13, and I
Okay.
want to be with them as much as I can.
Yeah.
So that's why I do it mostly online.
Got it.
But I'm here in Bend. The River House Convention Center is 5 minutes down the road from me. So it'd be remiss to not do it. And people ask me, they bump into me here in Bend all the time. Like I'll be in Costco and they're like, "You're the breathwork guy."
Yeah.
And I go, "Yeah." And they go, "When is your next class?" And I'll go, "It's in September in the convention center." So I have to have a class on the schedule
Sure.
to satisfy the people in Bend. And I love the people
Of
in Bend.
course.
But yeah,
Give
it's,
it back to the community where you live.
of course. Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
And it's easy, and people here are great, and they show up on time, which is in LA, it's a different animal.
Well,
Like,
we don't have so much traffic here.
yeah, LA, they're like, talking, and I'm like, listen, I know you wrote an episode of Saved by the Bell back in '91, and you're really important, but like, I'm going to teach you something that's going to change your life. So, yeah, so I love doing my class here in Bend, and it's really incredible in person because I have the 2 gongs on either side of the room, and those are vibrating through you for the last song, and then you get to scream with like 150 people in the room. Post COVID, it got up to 350 people, which was wild.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
So what are the kind of comments that you receive from the people that come to your classes?
The most common statement, and this is where I ended up putting it on all my website and all my, advertisements and stuff for class, is like, holy shit, that felt like 20 years of therapy without saying a word. And I started putting that on all my stuff because my students kept saying it to me. And I thought it was going to really piss therapists off, but it didn't. Ironically, therapists send me more people than anyone else, than any other profession.
Uh-huh.
And I did a class like not too long ago for a whole therapist, like a collective. It was like 20 therapists. And
Wow.
yeah, so they like to send people to me because, it brings up all the stuff for the people and then they process it with them. So it's a great thing
Interesting.
in conjunction with therapists. And I have a
Yeah.
lot of therapists who do my training,
Uh-huh.
do my trainings, which is great. I'm like, you don't need to send people to me. Come to my training,
Yeah.
get certified, and then do the whole thing yourself. Do the session with them and then, do the download with them afterwards, the processing with them afterwards. So I have a lot of therapists that go through my teacher trainings. But I hear a lot of different things after the class. Some of them are pretty wild. They're pretty out there. So I hesitate to share it.
That's okay.
Because
Whatever you feel comfortable with.
I just don't want to set up the expectations for people.
I see.
You know what I mean? Of like,
Mhm.
a lot of people say they're visited by relatives, people they love that have passed.
Oh, wow.
I've heard that a lot in 15 years. Like every class, I've heard that from somebody. I've never experienced it myself, but I've heard it a lot.
Thank you for that clarification. But
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. And then I've heard people say, well, my experience is that I felt connected with some kind of universal energy, I'll call it.
Uh-huh.
Like I felt connected to the trees, to people, to everything. Like some people might call it God. I call it universal energy, but I felt it and it was undeniable. And I went, holy cow, like I'm connected to everything.
Mm-hmm.
We're all connected.
Yeah.
Right. And when you look, I have this really interesting print at home, and one side of it is the rings of a tree.
Yes.
And the other side of it is like a fingerprint.
Right.
And they look exactly the same.
The same. I know. I've seen that.
So it's like, and the lungs look like the roots of a tree system.
Right. Yeah.
And when we exhale, the trees inhale. And when the trees
Mhm.
exhale, we inhale. So we're all connected. I mean, we really are.
Yeah.
Science has proven that. It's not me being woo-woo, but I felt it. I felt it inside of me. I felt the connection to everything. And I've had some pretty powerful experiences from people. Like, I had this guy in LA come up to me afterwards and he said, can I talk to you? And I'm like, yeah, we're talking. And he goes, no, can I pull you over here? And it's like, he looked like he might be gang affiliated. Like he looked like kind of a rough kind of gangster type. And he was like, man, that was wild. Like I felt God. And I was like, okay. He's like, is that normal? I'm like, for some people, yes. For other people, no. Some people just let go of all this stuff. And he's like, that was incredible. And he came to a bunch of classes and he had like what looked like a big shift to me.
Yeah.
And so sometimes the people who have the most stuff, who don't talk to anyone, who don't have anyone to share with, who keep it all inside, they have the biggest experiences.
I can imagine.
Yeah, because they're packing it all inside.
Sure.
So, it's great for them to come and they can let go of all this stuff. And I knew that online would be great because I thought maybe some of those people can't let go next to people.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Like
in the safety of their home, they feel they can just let go.
Yeah,
they
you're
can
in
turn
your
on the video if
safe
they want.
space. Yeah.
They can be vulnerable.
Yeah, you're in your safe space.
Yeah.
No one can hear you. No one can see you. So I thought some of these people
Are really going to benefit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I knew it would be amazing online. So, people have told me that it's helped cure physical ailments, physical issues, because so much of our physical stuff comes from the emotions,
Oh, for sure.
right? I
Yeah.
mean, nobody's doubting that stress can cause heart problems and cancer and disease, all this kind of
Hypertension,
hyper
autoimmunity stuff. Yeah.
autoimmunity is through the roof.
Yeah.
And I have alopecia. I have an autoimmune, right? So
Hmm.
I always joke with people. I'll say, you don't think that your emotions can affect your health? Then go from my eyebrows because they're gone. And that's due to an autoimmune, which is due to my emotions affecting my physical health,
Yeah.
right? So, you know, I have seen so many people's physical ailments like go away as a result of this because it's 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 rooted in emotional stuff that they've
Hmm.
been carrying around for years.
Yeah.
And so they start to release all that emotional stuff and then all the physical stuff goes away. Women who struggle with infertility come in because so much of that is up in their head or in their body.
Which
They're
affects the endocrine system, the
yeah,
glands. Yeah.
yeah. And they start doing breath work and they let go and then boom, they get pregnant.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that is talking about stress.
Yeah.
So,
But stress is the fancy word for fear, isn't it? Right? When you say,
yeah,
I'm
I
stressed
mean,
out about something, I'll go, what are you stressed out about, Addie? And you
hmm,
go, well, I'm stressed out about this. I'm like, oh, so you're really just afraid of this happening,
yeah,
right? But stress is
that's
the
true.
acceptable
Yeah.
word in our society today.
Hmm.
It's acceptable to be stressed out, just like it's acceptable for men to be angry in some way. But I found that men need permission to cry. This is a generalization,
Yeah.
and women need permission to yell. And I give you both in my class. So the women come up to me afterwards and they're like, dude, they're like, that was amazing. I love the yell. It was felt so good, especially with the gongs
Yeah.
because it drowns out the noise. And the guys come up to me and they don't say, I love the cry, but they say, like, that was incredible. Thank you. I feel so light. I feel
Right.
like I've let go of so much.
Yeah.
And so that's what you get, right? What you need. I
Hmm.
have different themes for my classes online, anger, sadness, grief, different types of themes. But the breathwork's going to give you whatever it is you need at that
Yeah.
time when you come to
Hmm.
the class, regardless of the theme.
Sure.
Whatever's going on in your life. If you're struggling with grief, it's going to work on the grief.
Of
If you're
course.
struggling with anger, it's going to get,
Whatever we're carrying heaviest in our hearts.
yeah.
Yeah.
For me personally, anger was just a mask that sadness was wearing.
Mm.
So I was angry, but that was just because I didn't want to feel sad. So when I started doing the breath work, I got past the anger. I got
Uh-huh.
to the sadness. I
Yeah.
allowed the sadness to be felt. And then I got to the other side, which is gratitude
Yeah.
and love.
Hmm.
Right.
So
So,
anger was kind of like your defense mechanism not to
yeah,
feel that sadness.
yeah. I don't
Yeah.
want to feel sad. Like depression is kind of like that too. Depression is anger turned inwards, right? I don't want to feel depressed, so I want to turn it outwards. But if I can strip away those layers with this breath work, I can get past all that stuff. The feeling requires to be felt, right? I
Yeah.
think it was either Freud or Jung that said like unexpressed emotions will always come forth in uglier ways.
Yeah.
So we have to deal with that stuff.
Yeah.
It's not going anywhere.
No, it's not.
I've had people come, oh my God, like, the breath work brought up this thing that happened to me in my childhood and it was horrible. I'm like, yeah, the breath work is just showing you what needs to be worked on.
Mm-hmm.
The breath work didn't put that there.
Right.
That was already there. It's just showing you if it wasn't an issue, it wouldn't be coming up.
Yeah. Mm.
So you need to do the work around that. So I would suggest you do more breath work and maybe see someone that you can talk to and help process it with a therapist, someone, really qualified.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that guy anymore.
Yeah.
I was for a lot of years, but
Yeah.
I only want to do the first part now.
Okay. So after doing, I guess, hundreds of sessions and helping thousands of people based on what you've told us today, JP, how has all of this experience enhanced your own wellness? Like, how have you evolved as
That's such a good
an
question.
individual?
I always tell my students in my teacher trainings,
Yeah.
you are like, what's going to shift for you? Keep doing the breath work on yourself, but you're going to get more out of taking other people through breath work at some point than you doing the breath work yourself.
That's what I'm thinking. That's how I
Yeah.
want to get to it.
Yeah. Yeah. So like when I do my classes,
Mhm.
I feel elevated. I feel lifted up. I feel emotional stuff, like the same stuff I get from the breath work. it gives me purpose. It gives me fulfillment. And I always tell my students this, and then they go and they start doing sessions and classes, and then they start emailing me, go, oh my God, it was amazing. I did this session with this person. I did this class, and these people changed their life. And I feel like I have such purpose. I have such fulfillment. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
you're doing great, incredible work in the world. You're helping people change their lives.
Yeah.
And that, I go, forget about the money.
Yeah.
Who gets to say they're doing that? Who gets to see that in an hour where they, like, you just changed somebody's life?
Mm-hmm.
And I go, the money is a byproduct. People are going to pay you for this, but that's not the goal. The goal is to just change people's lives. Whether there's 2 people in the room or 200 people in the room, it's incredible. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And so that's what I say to focus on. Focus on just changing people's lives with this work, and everything else is going to take care of itself, because that's been my experience.
Yeah. I mean, thinking about, the fact that you said you had dealt with alcohol and maybe drugs, I don't know,
Yeah.
that you were sober. Is this kind of your new high, if you will? I mean, take it lightly, but I mean,
Yeah.
helping others, is that like what's giving you this amazing purpose?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't know if it's a new high, but I would say that, the problem with getting high is like you have to keep increasing it,
Right.
right? To
To
feel
make
it,
it, uh-huh.
right? You always have to turn up the volume a little bit.
Okay.
And with the breath work, it doesn't get me high, and it fills me up.
Yeah.
The high, like people who are trying to drink or get high, it's like they're looking for it to fix themselves. They're looking to fix an internal thing, an internal issue from the outside in.
Right.
But this stuff works from the inside out.
Yeah.
And when you help people, it fills you up. It gives you fulfillment. It's
Yeah.
filling me up.
Uh-huh.
It gives me purpose.
Yeah.
And so, I'm
Which
not
is
going to
such an important component of health and wellness, is having that
having
purpose.
purpose.
It's like
It's the most
shown
important.
that those who like live longer are able, who are still to be able to hone in that
Yeah.
purpose in their life, like
Listen,
having a reason to wake up.
everybody wants to be happy,
Right.
right?
But it's not about being happy, really.
Right. Happiness is an emotion that's
Right.
going to
It's
come and go.
fleeting.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a cloud in a windy sky.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to come and it's going to go.
Yeah.
You're not going to be happy all the time. And you're not supposed to be happy all the time.
No.
And if you're not happy, you don't need to take a pill to make you happy.
I completely agree.
Right?
Yeah.
But purpose, fulfillment, if I have that,
Yes.
that's going to carry me through the times when I'm not happy.
Yeah.
So that's what you need to find. That's
Mm.
what you need to focus on. That's what you need to create. However you get there, that depends on you and what makes you feel good about yourself. When I got sober.
And I'm sorry for my question before. That's what
No.
kind of was going at.
No,
Like,
don't be sorry. That's a
about-
great question.
No, about like that high in the sense like
Yeah, no, it's a
something that
great
really
question.
just motivates us. Yeah.
Yeah. When I got sober 26 years ago, I had really low self-esteem, self-worth, And they told me, if you got, low self-esteem, then you need to do esteemable acts. And I was like, okay, what's an esteemable act?
Yeah.
Right? And I thought, how about if I did this Big Brothers of America, this mentoring program?
Yeah. I've heard of
So
it.
yeah, so I went and became a big brother.
Uh-huh.
And I picked up this kid who was a young teen and like helped him. He lived in like Crenshaw, like in a bad neighborhood
Yeah.
in LA. And I took him to the Getty Museum, and we did paintball, and we did the arcade. We did all this cool stuff.
Yeah.
And you know what? I dropped him off and I felt lifted up, right? I felt elevated. I felt 10 feet tall.
Yeah.
I got so much out of that. And that started to build my self-esteem.
Sure.
And then I started helping other guys get sober
yeah.
and working them with the 12 steps and doing all that. And that, I watched these guys go from like homeless
Mhm.
to like incredible members, productive members of society, to like fathers and husbands, and like in front of my eyes.
Wow.
It was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And so, that gave me self-esteem. That gave me self-worth. And I did that for many number of years. And then I found the breath work, and that did it. So it's just been an evolving thing of like, what is the best way for me to help people?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm right now I'm doing the breath work. If I find something better, then I might switch to that. But this is what I'm doing right now because I haven't found anything better
Yeah.
to help people
Mm-hmm.
than this breath work. But that's what I have to do. Unfortunately, for some reason, I don't know if this is the way I'm wired. I don't know if this is because of some things that happened to me. My intuitive nature is a little bit self-centered and selfish. And so the way to deal with that is to help other people,
Mm-hmm.
right? Some people are opposite. They're like people pleasers, and they always are trying to people please, and they need to take care of themselves, right? They need to set boundaries, right? for me, and I've had to learn to do that because as this teacher who's now kind of known, people are always asking me for things and I have to set clear boundaries. Like, and I tell my students, like, you need boundaries.
Uh-huh.
You're going to have to learn boundaries. But I really need to help people. That's what I need to do.
Hmm.
And it's been life changing for me.
Yeah. How has it changed your life?
It's just filled me up with purpose. It's made me into a person that I am proud of, that I think my kids are proud of, and that I can hold my head up high. And when I go to sleep at night, I can feel good about myself when I go to sleep at night. And none of that was there before I got sober or before I started helping people. It was the opposite, you know.
Hmm. What's next for you, JP, with Breathe with JP with your trainings?
I am working on a few new courses online. So I have a bunch of courses online right now. I have the teacher trainings online. So I do the teacher trainings in person twice a
Uh-huh.
year, right, in Los Angeles and Calabasas, California. And then I have them online as well. So people do them from all over the world. They'll just do
Okay.
the training online. But I'm creating some more courses around that.
Uh-huh.
I'm creating another course for this company in Switzerland where they translate it into different languages, which is
Oh,
amazing.
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool.
You're really reaching
Yeah,
a
bigger
world
audience. I'm
audience.
big in Switzerland and Germany,
Oh,
like David
wow.
Hasselhoff.
Huh.
I'm kidding, but yeah,
Okay.
yeah, like they're all over the world. They translate these courses into different languages, into Spanish and German and different things, which is really cool. So I'm doing another course for them right now, and I probably gonna finish this book sometime in my life.
Oh, you're writing a book.
Yeah, I've been working on a
Okay.
book for a while, and it's
Okay.
it's challenging. It's a different kind of writing. I was a screenwriter for a long time,
Sure.
and screenplays for me were easy, but
Yeah.
regular book writing is not.
Yeah.
So I've been
Different
different format.
category.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
So I've
sure.
been working on a book for a while, so I'm hoping to finish that.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to just keep doing my classes online because I love doing those. And I'm going to do my classes here in Bend every couple months.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to do my trainings maybe once a year in person. And I'm going to spend a lot of time with my kids while I can
Yeah.
and be a great dad
Yeah.
and be a good husband and just try to be like a good person walking in the world.
Mm.
That's what's next. Yeah. And if you're listening and you want to know where to find me, I would say Breathe with JP. That's the
Okay.
website, BreathWith JP. People do Breath with JP.
Uh-huh.
They forget the E at the end of
Sure.
Breathe. So Breathe with JP.
Breath and breathe are very different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have another website, Breathwork Teacher Training, too, which is
Mm-hmm.
the online courses.
Got it.
But you can find that through Breathe with JP. And you
Okay.
can find to sign up for the online class on Zoom, which has a 5-day replay. You can find that through Breathe with JP. And you can sign up for the Bend class there. All the tabs are across the top.
Uh-huh.
People will just scroll past that and contact me like, how do I sign up for the class? I'm like, you just scrolled over it
Yeah.
to get here.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's right there. It says classes. Click on that button.
Yeah.
Learn to use a website. So like I love helping people and people frustrate the hell out of me at the same time. It's that paradox.
Yeah. Hmm.
So yeah, so I'm going to just keep doing the things I'm doing. I'm in a good place. I love my life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy with my life. And I love doing what I'm doing. I've really gotten to this place now where I've found my purpose. I found my fulfillment. And like that story, like the hero's journey, right? Which all the screenplays are based on.
Yes.
When you get to the end, what do? You turn around and you bring back the elixir to
Mm-hmm.
help other people. And that's where I'm at. I've done all the trials and things that you had to go through to get here. And it makes sense. You know, if you're not sure what your purpose is, what you're supposed to do, then you're still going. Like you have to keep working on yourself. It becomes clear when you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
People, I was struggling because I was still in the Hollywood thing, but people were calling me for breath work. And one of my teachers was like, JP, that's your calling. People are literally calling you to do the breath work. That's what a calling is.
Right.
They're asking you to do it. That's what you're supposed to do. That's your calling. So if that's not happening, then you got to keep going till you figure out what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And, one of the great things about doing this breath work is it will get you clear on what's in your heart, what you're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to do. Because people come in and they'll be like, I want to do this and I want to do that thing. And they'll have 10 different things. And I'll go, why don't you just set the intention for clarity on what's the most important thing in your heart? Because all those things are great, but they all require work and effort. And they're all distracting you from the number one thing that your passion is. And you want to do the number one thing that you're passionate about because it's going to get hard at some point. And so that passion will carry you through when it's hard.
For sure. Yeah. Hmm. If somebody's listening to the podcast and wants to try the breathing on their own, you've piqued their curiosity, what can they do? It's laying down, breathing through the mouth.
Well, I wouldn't say do it on your own the first time.
No? Okay.
No, because I think you need to be guided.
Okay.
Because there are some things that are going to happen in that,
Uh-huh.
and they might freak you out or scare
Okay.
you. So in your first session, I would say do it with someone. If you do it with me, you can do it online. It's $19 for your first time online.
Yeah.
Or, the in-person class is a little more. It's
Uh-huh.
$45 in person. And then you never have to do it with me again.
Yeah.
You can do it on your own. But the first time you should be guided by someone
Okay.
with this style of breath
Good to
work.
know. Mhm.
Yeah, I definitely think that. Um, yeah, because I've had people do it in the car. You never want to do it in the car.
No.
Right. I know but you understand. I had a guy
Yeah.
who skipped the pre-track on one of
Mhm.
my things that said, don't do this in the car, don't do
Sure.
this in a pool, don't do
Right.
this in a bathtub.
Yeah.
And he was driving over Topanga Canyon and
Oh my
had to
goodness.
pull over because he almost crashed.
Oh no.
Because you get really lightheaded and your hands can cramp
Yeah.
up and all these
Yeah.
weird things happen to you physically. So you kind of need someone guiding you your first time. I would
Okay.
say maybe the first couple times, but at least the first time.
Right.
But
And
yeah.
then that's something that one can do on their own.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. People come to my class because they want me to push them. I call out names in the class.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people like that,
Yeah.
They
It was
want
ironic when I did your class online. There were two Adrianas, which is crazy because
that's never
I'm
happened
usually
before.
the only Adriana
Yeah,
in this country. So yeah.
it was.
Anyways,
That's
and
wild.
I kept on hearing Adriana. I'm like, yeah.
But I tell people you don't have to have me push you, but
Mhm.
people like that because it's hard in the
Yeah.
beginning. So they want like a trainer.
Right.
So I have regulars that
No,
come
it
every
helps
week.
that you call us out, and
Yeah.
yeah, you're very, very encouraging.
Yeah, but you don't need that. You can do it on your own. And also, some of my courses online, they have downloadable tracks in them.
Okay.
So you can buy the 5-day emotional detox course. That's a really powerful course that has a bunch of downloadable tracks in there that you
Uh-huh.
can download to your phone or your computer, whatever, and do it whenever you want. And that course is a bunch of workshops that I used to do in LA.
Okay.
One of them is the transformational letter.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have you write a letter, you write this letter to someone you have unresolved issues with.
Uh-huh.
And everyone's heard that. Yeah, no. Write the letter, say everything you need to say to them, and then you write a letter back from them
Oh.
to you. That's the part that I've added that's different. Saying everything you want them to say, everything they're never going to say, either because they're not with us anymore or because they're just never going to own it. They're never going to say it. And if we have to wait for people to say it to us to own it,
We could wait. Our
we're
entire
screwed.
life.
Yeah, we could wait forever and never hear it. So you write the 2 letters, and I teach you how to do this in the thing, and then you do the breath work afterwards. The 2 letters bring it all up, and the breath work heals it.
Oh my
And I've done this. I do it in my teacher trainings. I have a course called the 5-day emotional detox, where people do it in the course, and people say that's the most life-changing thing I ever done. So when you combine that exercise with the breath work, it's really powerful. It's really life-changing. They'll say something like, my father left when I was 10 and I could never get over it. I could never forgive him. And I spent thousands of dollars on therapy and it didn't work until I did that workshop with you, or I did that class with you with the transformational letters, and it changed everything. And so I have other exercises in that course too, like affirmations, and I have, I call it the legacy or eulogy, different love letter. You write, it's a lot of writing with breath work combined.
Yeah.
So it's really powerful.
I can imagine. As someone myself, I journal, I think, every night. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of power in that. Just
Yeah.
putting in paper what we're thinking, feeling.
And in my trainings, I have my teachers do this stuff in the training.
Uh-huh.
And I don't tell them that ahead of time, but they get up and you write your legacy,
Yeah.
and then you get up and read it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can do that, then you can lead a breathwork class,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So I strengthen your voice.
Mm-hmm.
in that training. I also teach people like techniques to remember. I have a script that I give you that's everything you need to say before a session in a class, but I have you work on it over the 4 days of the training and the in-person training. And so you know exactly what to say or do.
Okay.
And you can deviate from that if you
Yeah.
want, but like you need that confidence.
Sure. Hmm.
Powerful.
Wow. I'm thinking how many people you've touched through this course, just the fact that you've also trained so many teachers and those teachers have
Yeah.
their own client. I mean, they must
Yeah. It's a
talking
ripple
about,
effect.
yeah,
It's a multi-level marketing for good.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get to hear people will email me like, I worked with your student and so, and it changed my life. And I'm like, I
Hmm.
love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I get to be a part of this thing. It's like spreading across the globe.
Mm.
And 15 years ago, nobody knew what it was.
Yeah.
Nobody knew what the hell I was talking about. They still don't. That's why we're on this podcast. So, like, a small percentage knows now.
Okay.
And it's like, I got a lot of work to do still. I got a lot of people to help, a lot of lives to change. That's why we're here,
Yeah.
to keep spreading it bigger and wider and have more lives be changed.
Well, you've done amazing so far.
Thank you.
Very honored to have you on the podcast and to share your story.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here.
Yeah, thank you, JP.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.